Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 307 in my countdown to retirement. So it was a beautiful day today in the Atlanta metro area, so I convinced my wife to join me on a trip to Kennestone Mountain. So we've lived in the Atlanta metro area on and off since 1984, with the most recent stint being approximately 20 years. So during that time, we've climbed to the top of Georgia's most famous peak, Stone Mountain, as well as lesser known ones such as Lost Mountain. But in all the time, we've never summited Kennesaw Mountain. So today that changed. And so I'm going to take you through a quick slideshow of the summit and the views you get from the summit, that you can garner in multiple directions. And without going into too much history, on June 19th, 1864, Captain Charles L. Lumsden's Alabama battery on Big Kennesaw Mountain hit a railroad water tower and nearby Yankees, which was lucky shooting using a small bore Napoleon cannon. And the first Minnesota battery on Brushy Mountain, which was a mile away, had long-range rifled guns. They returned fire. And then at nightfall, the Confederates dragged their own rifled cannons up the mountain and positioned them on the peak. And I can tell you from experience now, that was a mighty task to pull them up, given that I was able to go up paths that had been defined. Like these guys pulling it up through the wilderness or whatever, through the tree line and stuff, and getting them positioned, that was a freaking miracle that they could do it. Anyway, over the next week, and by the way, there was a steady rainfall that happened during this time, but over the next week, basically, both sides bombarded each other, for lack of a better description, day and night for a week. And while there was lots of smoke and things flying around, very little ended up actually getting damaged over the week period. But the battle concluded on June 27th of 1864, and I'll show you in one of the photos here that there's a plaque near the summit that honors 14 Georgians that were generals of the Confederate States Army in the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain, and it's on a viewing platform. But after the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain, the Union Army, led by General William T. Sherman, returned to his flanking strategy and ultimately bore down on the South Railroad and supply hub called Atlanta. So let me talk you through what you're going to see in the slide show starting now. So once you get close to the summit, there's a sign indicating that the summit is a 1/10 of a mile up the Kennesaw Mountain Trail. From that sign, you climb a set of steps to a viewing platform. And then from the viewing platform, you follow a path up to the summit. And along the way, you pass a number of cannons, along with a sign that announces the Confederate 4-gun artillery. So then Mrs. Scott decided to stop near one of the canyons for a proof of light photo of the mountain shot, proving that she was actually on the summit of Kennesaw Mountain. And then Mr. Scott did the same thing. So, and then near the summit, there's a microwave cellular tower. So you get a great signal up there. And then at the peak, there's a geodetic survey marker, along with a cannon and a sign that I found amusing that said, "No horses or bikes, but dogs are okay." And then the summit is just a bunch of barren rocks, which presumably have been cleared off by the National Park Service, because I'd be surprised if they actually look the way they look now at that time. But anyway, when you're up there, if you look north, you will see the North Georgia mountains in the distance. And then you can also see the Cobb County Airport, which is known as McCollum Field. And then if you look east, you can see Stone Mountains in the distance. Obviously, like I said, that's the most well-known mountain, if you want to call it that. I forget what it's really, a geodome or what, I forget what it's really called, in the distance. And then if you look to the southeast, you can see Buckhead and the city of Atlanta. And then if you look northwest, you can see my house in the distance. I'm kidding. I can't even see it. But it's in that general direction. And then at the summit, if you stand up on the rocks, you get an awesome view of the city of Atlanta. And I'll conclude showing you a downhill view of the 1/10 of a mile path to the viewing platform. And it's a little steeper than it looks, which I guess is why you can't have any bicycles up there, because as a mountain bike, I assume you could easily traverse it. But a regular bike, you'd go flying down the path. And you are allowed, by the way, to ride bikes everywhere else within the park, but you just can't take it there. And then as we were leaving, I snapped a quick pic through the window of a field at the base of the mountain, which is adjacent to the visitor center, which is decorated, on holidays like the July 4th with hundreds of flags. So if you go by there on, on a patriotic holiday, they have tons and tons of flags in there. It looks fantastic. Anyway, that's a quick taste of what we saw. And if you get a chance, you can easily spend a day there. I should also mention that it costs you now $5 per vehicle to get into the park if you don't have one of those, I think it's America the Beautiful or All Access Pass, to go into national parks. But if someone just drops you off there, or you don't have a vehicle and it's just you walking, then there's no fee. And at the visitor center, which is really kind of an expanded museum and a shop, you can watch an 18-minute video of the Atlanta campaign and the Battle of Kennesaw if you so choose. It has a clean restroom, and you should use that before heading up the mountain, because there are no facilities once you leave the visitor station. So you're on your own there. And just some stats on the mountain. The mountain is 1,808 feet above sea level. Incline from the visitor station or visitor center to the mountain summit is approximately 700 feet. And the hike up is approximately 1.2 to 1.4 miles, depending on the path that you take. So that was our couple hour journey through Kennesaw Mountain. And then after leaving Kennesaw Mountain, we stopped for lunch, and then my wife checked to see if her glasses, the second pair of glasses she's been waiting on, were in. They were, so we ran over to pick up the glasses. Ended up having to wait an hour while they were waiting on someone else, even though we were the first person to sign in. This young lady was there prior to us, and she just took an hour looking for a set of glasses and ultimately left without getting anything. But we waited the hour. They got her the glasses. She tried them on, and we immediately were able to determine that they didn't fix the problem. So my wife was upset. So we had because this is inside the ophthalmologist's office, so we had them call or schedule an appointment. The first one that was open was next Tuesday for her to see her ophthalmologist, to bring both sets of glasses, and for him to do, I think they called it TRX. It's a transfer prescription or whatever. It's to validate that the glasses actually match the prescription and the prisms that she's supposed to have, and that her eyes haven't changed in the week and a half to 2 weeks since we ordered the glasses. My guess is that there needs to be a slight tweak in one of the prisms, and also the young lady who did the sizing of where your eye center point is, distance from the top crosswise, I think she made it too high. Because if my wife tilts her head down, then looking through the top set of the glasses, she can see much better than through the rest of the glasses, even though they're supposed to be single focal lens glasses on one pair, and then she does have, well, they're progressives, but really like a bifocal. It's a computer lens slash reading lens in the other with no line. Anyway, I'll take her back on Tuesday, and we'll see what the doctor says. Then we left there and ran to Kroger, and I was able to pick up a 3.71 pound beef chuck roast for $6.99 a pound. So that saved us $7.41 off the price marked on the package. I also picked up a 4.33 pound boneless pork loin that uh, I'll cut up and vacuum seal into individual portion sizes. Got that for $1.99 a pound, so that saved us $4.33 off the package. And then my wife had run out, independent of me, and picked me up two whole chickens from Lidl that were 99 cents a pound. So she saved me $2.17 per chicken off of roughly what was it, four something pound chicken. So because there was a limit of 10 pounds that you could get at that price at Lidl. Anyway, then we came home and we checked the mail because I got a notice that my glasses had been delivered. And so I'm wearing my new computer glasses, which to you will look identical because they are identical, other than the prescription, to my old computer glasses. So I generally like these glasses. They're light. I have probably, I think, the last 3 or 4 years worth of refreshes that I've gone through. I've kept the same frames just because they work really well for me to wear for long periods of time. They're thin, lightweight, so I'm good with those. So they came from Zenni Optical, which again is a Chinese online company, but I've been buying glasses from them now for, I want to say, 7, 8, maybe years or longer. I don't know. It's been a long time. For me, they work out really well, so I'm happy with them. And then I switched, so I will give you a quick peek. So I normally wear, or have been wearing, these half rimless glasses, which are my daily progressives, so that, I can function not just working in front of a computer, but I can drive with these, read with these. And I can use the computer, it's just not nearly as clear as with regular computer glasses. But I've decided to go, so from a pewter color half rimless, I decided to go to a full rimmed glasses and go with a black set. So they make me look, I think, more studious or more serious. But love to get your opinion. Criticism is welcome. So happy to know what you guys actually think of these versus the ones I normally wear. And then I got another pair, which I didn't bother taking out of my truck, which are just for driving. And again, they're full frame, but they're like kind of a clear thing with some black spots on it, whatever, that I only wear for driving. So anyway, those came in today, so I was pretty happy with that. I've been trying them out. All the prescriptions seem to be spot on, so I'm super happy with that. And then we ended the day going out to a local barbecue chain here in Atlanta, and I'm sure there are in many other cities, called Jim and Nick's. So my wife wanted to do something different, so that's where we went, and kind of that ended the day. So this is today's update. Let me know if you have any questions or any comments. Drop them in the comment section down below, or you can send me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Take care. Have a great evening.